Hello and welcome back to Crew 42's coverage of the River City Open 2023 presented by Great Lakes Disc. We are in Byron Center, Michigan at Brewer Park, and this is our lead card for round 2. I am Zach O'Haron, and joined on the commentator's mic, I have RJ Centala. How you doing, RJ?
I'm doing pretty dang good.
Awesome. So is our lead card here. Luke and Andrew in last round just torching it up, and not the only one. Nate Hecker right behind them as well, tied with Marwede at 14 down.
That was a heck of a round.
That's so good. And so Nate kind of set the pace, being one of the earlier cards in the day for round 1. Andrew and Luke able to respond and get some good rounds of themselves, and we're going to take a look at what our cards can do today. Let's see who's on the card. With hole 1, first we have 274 feet par 3. You really want to throw a forehand over the left side bush, try to spike it into the circle here. Mistake here is to let the wind push it off to the right or push it deep into the trees behind the basket. You can get a little plinko-y and obstruct your putt, or if you accidentally turn it over, you can go be on the sidewalk on the left, but like that's a pretty big mistake.
Yeah. Usually with this, it's a left to right wind pretty much all the time. You really want to hang that out wide. If you do crash into those trees to the right of the basket, it's usually fine. I mean, very rarely you're not going to have a putt. Shout out to Shay for hosting, TDing, sponsoring this event, best TD in Michigan.
Heck yeah.
Except maybe my events, but
You're not biased though.
yeah, tied first.
Yeah, this is going to be a shootout. Caldwell looks like on our last person on the card here, just a few strokes back from the card. He's going to really need to make a move. We'll see if our card can remain this consistent. 14-15 is incredibly hot.
Yeah.
Next up,
Good shot from Luke there.
PGA,
I think there's
Marwede.
your boy Josh Taylor
Yeah.
playing an MP40 this year.
One MP40 this year.
No spoilers.
Well, I mean, we're not covering it.
Oh, well, I guess.
Marwede's going to go even higher, allow this to kind of spike.
Boom. Yep. Very rarely do you see it not spike. Just with that downhill angle. Makes it pretty easy.
Hecker.
I'm surprised I get why it doesn't play the easiest. It just feels like it's the easiest, you know?
It didn't in round 1. In round 2, it might have played easier.
Did it?
It did. It's the third easiest hole.
Oh.
Nate Hecker out of Ohio, champion of the Brent Hambrick Memorial.
Oh.
Very skilled player. Has been in contention at that A tier.
Ooh, that might be a little bit tough in there. He got that a little shorter than he wanted to. That wind definitely picked that up.
But he's a very talented young rising star, capable forehand and backhand. We're going to see what he has available to him. And Caldwell, also out of Ohio, going to be joining us today. Don't know much about him. It's the first time I've ever seen him, and he
looks like he's wearing a soccer jersey almost.
Yeah, earned himself a lead card spot at an A tier. So he's not he's not bad.
Ain't no scrub.
Ain't no scrub, to say the least. 11 down is nothing to shake your nose at there. And we have Luke, 20 feet? Somewhere in there?
Ooh, on the left side.
And just like that.
Opens the door.
Yeah, just like that. It's going to switch it over. Luke is going to lose a stroke. Nate here with a chance to get one back.
All right. Yeah, he's not even a little bit obstructed.
He's
just got like a little straddle.
Yep.
It looked like it was a lot farther. I've done that a million times, gone into that stuff in there, and then there's just always something, you know.
Yep.
That's when you straddle out.
It's if you push through it at all, you get screwed.
If you get unlucky.
Yeah. Hey, I mean that's how I exist, right?
Yeah. I know that feeling. Yep.
Birdie there though, so like right off the get-go, we're gonna lose. Luke loses his lead. Everyone's gonna get that birdie to be able to get themselves tied with him. Calvin even getting a stroke.
Oh, he mad.
I mean, I'd be upset too. It plays the third easiest hole on this round.
Yeah, especially when you execute and put it in circle 1. I mean, yeah, you could see he's a little upset with himself. Hole 2, we got kind of a in between. So you could do a forehand, which a lot of times you're gonna finish right, because you can't swing it as far. It's kind of more of a flex forehand or a turnover backhand. Depending on the wind, usually it's a headwind coming off of that hill there. You want to throw kind of a straight, stable-ish mid-range kind of disc. Let it kind of turn over and then come back out right around that tree in front of the basket there. Pretty much no danger off of this one. You just got to keep the height right. That's the most important thing on this one. You don't want to get too high because that's where you get some funky finishes. This looks really good. It's going to hit right in by that tree. Ooh!
Almost getting an ace on camera.
Yeah.
You already gave us one at Noble Appliance Open, like the best TD in the state for that.
Arguably, for sure.
Arguably, yeah. Okay.
If there was a vote, I'd say top 5 for sure.
Okay. Nate here throwing his forehand.
That's a slower speed one.
Yeah, a little flexier here, and
yeah, that's great.
Tap in for him.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, to be able to throw a zone that far, because that's like for sure plays all of that 315, 312 that it says. Great shot. This is kind of like you'll see a lot more people do this play here. And he gets it a little turned over, a little too hot. You see, he kind of got it a little too high. That was what I was talking about. You got to keep it like pretty much right at chest level height wise. Like maybe as tall as Luke is, that's the height you want the entire time. And he kind of throws a little flexy. Looks like a zone as well, if I were to guess.
I think it's a Raptor.
That's definitely a higher speed. That was a really easy little flick that he did. He didn't really put much into that at all. Great shot.
Calvin now with a comeback putt just outside the circle, obstructed tree, can't really see it. The camera angle kind of pushed to the right. It's covering part of the basket from his angle.
Yeah,
and it gets him. It should be a tap in though, first 3.
Yep, you're so worried about don't hit
the tree.
Don't miss right. Don't miss right. Don't miss right, and then you just miss left.
So it's one of the things that we'll get to see this round a little bit as these guys are going to be tapping in their birdies. We're going to see some adjusting happen, right? We'll see, like, hole 1 wasn't the top 3 easiest hole, is today. People are going to adjust to the holes appropriately, make the better play. So, like, hole 2, easiest hole of the day, wasn't yesterday.
Really?
It is the easiest. 1 bogey in the entire field. Everything else was par or better.
I guess, yeah.
And so, like, we're going to see some interesting changes here as we come down the stretch here, see how players adjust appropriately, and see if our lead card and our leaders can keep that momentum going in those adjustments. They're going to have to keep that with hole 3. In round 1, played as the 3rd hardest hole. In round 2, it's the 2nd hardest hole. It's moved up the leaderboard. Very difficult shot here. You have 2 lanes you can pick from. This inside gap where you see these 2 gentlemen walking, you can throw a flex shot or just something low and try to get it to the right at the very end there once it gets over the kind of mound. Or you can take the Marwede line, which is going to push left of those trees, and you're going to throw a hyzer the whole way. The risk there is that you might kind of get a flare skip to the right as it comes back down the hill.
The risk is being able to throw it that far on pure hyzer. That's the risk. You're risking like your elbow and shoulder being able to throw it that hard. It's down there. I mean, this definitely plays, like, I know it says 380 and it's downhill. It definitely plays 350 though.
Yeah.
And that's smoked again.
Counter skip.
Yeah, perfect.
That's so.
Even if that skips right, I mean, that's like 20 feet at most. I mean, that was just a great shot. Nate Hecker. Out of Ohio, you said?
Yep, out of Ohio. Yep. We'll forgive him.
Yeah, for real. Great shot again.
This looks really good. Oh, a little flare.
That should still be pretty close to the circle there.
He's got a putt at least.
Yeah, that opens up. I don't think there's going to be anything in his way.
Luke just clipped the corner there in round 1 with this Anheuser kind of forehand. I don't think this is.
I'm surprised he doesn't do what Andy does. Maybe he's not like the best like one angle with the forehand. He definitely throws more flexes when he throws forehand, but I mean, he's definitely got the power to go just on that left side. I feel like that just takes a lot less like danger out of it because you know obviously he didn't turn it over enough. Like he did almost the exact same thing as round 1.
Yep.
Calvin does what I do almost every time when I throw a forehand. I put too much flex on it and burn it into the ground. Yeah. Because I'm trying to get all the power on it. That's very common. You'll see that a lot on this hole. And then a lot of times you'll just have this kind of meh up and down, try to run it a little bit. But if you get too crazy, that does run away from the basket coming back down. I mean, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's probably like 10 feet. And then you got like 25 feet left for a par. That's where you're going to see those bogeys come into play. Little spinner. Yep.
Different tactic from yesterday. You try to float it up a little bit. A little different footing today. Nate with this left for his birdie look.
Yep. This is probably like 28 feet. Coming back.
No problem.
That feels good. When you make those, that's when you know you're on.
Yep. And I like getting them early.
Yeah.
I like because if I make it early, I have confidence for the whole day.
And you're like, if you miss it, you're like, oh, I just need to warm up a little bit. That's all.
Talked to Chandler about that in the
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
You get a little too crazy about the run.
foreshadowing. You didn't even know that was going
I
to happen.
didn't even know that was going to happen. Yeah.
But we talked about
It's
Chandler
like
about
I've
that.
been there a few times.
Sure. What about if you'd rather putt really well the whole round, or would you rather just have tap-ins the whole round? And he said, I want to have big putts. And then
I'd rather have tap-ins.
And then he missed a putt, and he said, I'd rather have tap-ins.
Do that. It's so much less stress. When you have to do that 28,
Yeah.
30-footer, 30-footer,
Yeah.
38, the whole round, it just puts so much stress on you.
Yeah.
At least for me, it does. You're putting so much more effort into the round, and that really will wear on you, especially for a 3-round tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
Hole 4, definitely the signature hole out here, horseshoe U-shaped thing that we have. You're just gonna throw like a low backhand, kind of with some hyzer, like a hyzer up to flat to then hyzer again. That's the dream route, is where the drone went, and then you have like 2 different ways to go. You can go on this right side, it's a little safer, but definitely a tougher shot coming down. Then you have the cheater gap down the middle, and then you have the super cheater gap, which is if you get a little bit cut off, you can go kind of where the short tee is. Should be, if with a good drive, makes it a very easy birdie. With a bad drive, it makes it a very tough par. So it really depends all on the drive, what you're going to be doing on this hole. Andy needs that to turn drastically, and it doesn't seem like it did.
It's going to get most of the way down there. We'll have to take a look. Having some technical difficulties on our catch cam position at the moment, so we didn't catch that one. I think we won't see this one either, but made it in the right direction at least to start with. Not too early to miss the Mando.
Yeah. He shouldn't be in danger of that. That's exactly what you want. As long as that finishes.
It's gotta go
that
left.
didn't finish. That really
Flipped over.
Yeah. The wind shouldn't be too much of a factor on this one, since it is protected on both sides, unless it's ripping wind, but usually it's not. So, and then Luke just goes super flex.
Yeah, he did this last time too. Threw something ridiculously overstable, and he does
That's
this a
gotta be
lot.
really stable.
Yep,
Yeah,
he's not unhappy.
Yeah, that's a lot of times what happens on this hole. You throw your drive and you're like, well, I got to scramble again.
We'll see, right?
This is a very scrambly hole, especially if you have a bad drive. Here we go. Here's catch cam.
Back online.
This is, you got all the stuff that's laying down kind of at the end of the fairway. Nate, it looks like it hit early.
Isn't that the stuff that used to be a teepee? Like they had had like a Boy Scout teepee built in there.
Yep, that's.
Don't you do it?
Oh no, I didn't even mention that. I forgot the OB.
Because
Yeah,
it's
he
so
doesn't
hard
even
to-
know about it.
Yeah, it's so
you
hard
can
to
see him
get
kind
to.
of looking around like, is that OB?
Yeah, it is. It's so hard
That's
to
gonna
get.
make this hole tough. That's like, now you're looking at 6 might be your best bet.
I mean,
That was a really good skip off the top of that hill.
I mean, so he's gonna be throwing his 4th from there, right?
At least, I think, yeah.
Right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he'll be throwing
you're not-
4, and he's gonna be out of position. I don't know
Yeah.
if he even has the line to the basket.
Yeah, I mean, 6 is best case now. Here's a flick turnover. That's gross if that gets going. He eagled us for round 1, so... Yeah, I mean, he's going to have like a 90, maybe 100-footer for another eagle, but, I mean, makes it a really easy birdie. This is the dream spot here, so he did get through there. And he's still... You see how funky that is? I mean, this hole is just so funky. You can have a really good drive and be off by like 5 feet.
Yep.
And just have to do something that you don't want to do.
The one thing I like about it, though, that I'll give it credit for the whole design in general, is that even if it is funky, it doesn't take away your birdie.
No.
If you're smart about it.
Right.
Like, these guys are elite enough to where they can get aggressive and it still won't hurt their birdie chance.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not elite enough to do that. I can do something funky and not get up the hill. So, like, but for most of these guys, they can still get aggressive and still get their birdie, even if they're in a weird spot. Nate here had to pitch.
Go.
Now is coming up short and has a circle
man.
2. That's for his
That's
6?
for bogey, yeah, at least.
Oh,
I'm counting
no.
right.
Yeah, 4 up, 5 there. So this is
Yeah.
for 6. It's big numbers can happen here, and if you have bad breaks. Calvin asking it to sit down.
Sit. Yeah, he played that like that's how you want to play this hole. Throw a drive, stay safe on the right side, get over the top of the hill, have like a 240-foot shot into the pin.
Marwede messed this hole up last time.
Yeah, he didn't this time.
This looks great. Yeah.
Yep.
Even used the little clovers there to backstop his disc.
The Clovers do catch really well.
They do. Luke here. Chance to go back-to-back eagles.
Long look. Ooh, did he give it enough? Not quite enough height.
Yep.
But still, I mean,
Honest
tap in
effort.
birdie.
Yeah. Honest effort. We appreciate it.
Andy and Luke will have tap in birdies. This is to save a bogey to not lose 3 to...
This is 45.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Super good save. I mean, that's a very good
See him,
putt.
whoo! Just
that's
a little bit of a smile even.
Whoo!
Yeah.
When you get off of that one.
That could have been worse.
Yeah. You really can't be taking a double bogey on any of these holes if you want to win this event.
And this isn't a bogey hole either. Like that, it's so.
I always say it's a 4 or a 6. It depends on your drive. Honestly, whenever I play it, I'm like, oh, this is just an easy birdie every single time. Or it's like, God, I hate this hole.
Yeah.
This is the goofiest hole ever. It kind of depends who I'm playing with too. We're like, hey, do you like this hole? I'm like, I'll let you know after my tee shot.
Yeah. It depends on where I get to throw my second, either whether I like it or hate it.
Every time you play it, it plays differently. It's not like you don't play it the exact same every time. 2 really good birdies from Andy, Luke. Good save from Nate, and then Calvin with the birdie as well.
Yeah, it's going to move us on to hole 5, 667 feet. Love this tee shot here. You want to throw it through the gap. It's fair. It's open. You just don't want to go too high. Something on hyzer that'll flip a little bit and then go back to hyzer through this fairway. The drone's going a little left to where the flight should go.
Which you can do.
Yep, it can go in that way. You want to probably be right at that tree line that it just flew by, and then you have this approach shot. Forehands are probably favorable because it grades uphill, so you want to let your disc kind of use it as a backstop rather than backhanding that and letting it skip away. So see what these guys can do from here. Big power. You're allowed to go as aggressive as you want to, though.
You don't need to, but yeah, it definitely makes the hole a lot easier. That is smoked.
Marwede making a great correction from yesterday.
That's a good spot because it really opens up the forehand over there. I almost always end up behind the big tree in the center where I have to straddle out one way or the other. You just that looks like it's a little high if I were to guess. Yeah, that's definitely high. That's like the one miss is high. It's almost impossible to miss this fairway. I mean, I don't want to say it's almost impossible, but it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, just throw it down the middle and just have the height just like that. That's got to come back. Yeah, that's
it looks
perfect.
great. Yeah. Coming on hyzer, right? Probably going to be right next to Mar. Oh, farther? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm almost, that tree that's right there, I'm behind that every single time when I throw. I'm like, oh my God, that's just, I drilled that drive and I'm just behind that tree.
Nate here needing a good drive. Wants to make a recovery.
Yeah. He's got to get these next 3 just to kind of
keep on
the. Yeah, that's the tree. That's the one tree you got to miss. You can go left or right of it. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Just got to
miss it. As long as you miss it.
Yeah.
So now he's got a
He's going forehand from here?
Forehand, yeah.
This is such a big... Oh, that's not what I thought he was going.
That's also not what I thought he was going to do. That's smoked, though. Get up there.
Wow.
I mean, that's like 400 feet of power at least.
Jeez, oh,
on pure hyzer. Well, maybe a little flat, but like
little
hyzer angle the whole way.
Uphill, too.
Uphill. Yeah, that's a lot
crazy.
That's a lot of power. Luke
just piping this.
That's another really good shot. Those roots kind of slowed it down at the end too.
Wow. Just so
that's the difference between these guys and the 980 to 990 is they're still thinking birdie. I'm thinking like, okay, how do I make sure that I make this as easy of a par as possible? These are like, how do I make this a really good birdie?
Yep.
That's the difference.
Their scramble game is just different than ours.
Yeah.
Marwede making that approach shot look very easy. Calvin here also with the best drive of the group.
Dream drive.
Yep, this is just a soft little... He's going to go with the backhand approach.
Which is fine. Yeah, as long as you get it like high enough on that hill. Because if you get it at the pin, that's where it runs away.
Nate here with his birdie. We have a chance to star frame.
Wow. Just an insane birdie from back.
Yeah, I mean, worst drive of the group, right?
Yeah.
Forehand the whole way. Calvin now for his birdie. Gets his to go.
They'll look a little left, but yeah. Good putt.
Long as it catches.
Yeah. That's all that matters.
Luke with his birdie. He's having a bit of a slow start for what we know he's capable of. And Marwede is somehow better at this point of the round from yesterday.
Yeah.
He hit 8 out of 9 and has somehow improved on that so far.
Yeah.
So
star frame insane with those drives that they all had.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
Since 2015, Great Lakes Disc has been supporting players at all levels, from local leagues and events to professional disc golfers on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Visit greatlakesdisc.com to learn more.
Welcome back. We have hole 6. This one is not a double mando, but it might as well be. You gotta shoot this little gap here. You want to throw like a PD Onyx for me, a feedback. Right down the middle here. Let it hyzer right before that V tree right there. You have a nice little opening. You can go backhand, forehand, whatever you want to do. This hole will not play the same.
2 days in a row.
Right. I mean, you're just gonna have to do, something. You can try to do some funky stuff, but typically you just want to throw like a stock hyzer flip to hyzer right up the middle here.
It did get harder.
I can see that. I mean, it really depends if you... Yeah, that's perfect right there. Again, the height is critical on this as well.
Yeah, it was the 8th hardest hole in round 1, 6th hardest hole now in round 2, and Marwede is in the exact same location.
Yeah.
Just perfect drive from Marwede.
Mm-hmm.
Luke now...
That makes the hole a lot easier.
It does.
It really is about the drive on this one, just getting it through that gap. Luke uses a backhand flex to kind of make that gap a little wider. Obviously, he put a little bit too much turn on it and maybe a little too low, so it didn't have time to come back, but he made the gap. So that's, mission critical on this hole.
Yep. You have to be on the other side of the creek bed.
Yeah.
Have to be.
In order to, get up and down. I mean, I don't think I've seen somebody from behind the creek bed make birdie. I'm sure somebody's going to do this right now.
It's in the practice round.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not spoiling that if you haven't seen it already.
Oops.
You should go check it out. There's a really cool shot that you would never have expected would be saved from there.
Well, now you're going to expect it because you just told us about it.
No, I'm just saying, like, you land there and be like, there's no way.
Right.
And then he'll do it. And you're just like, that's
Wow.
not a thing. It is possible. It's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
We just now know it's possible. I would have said it's impossible until I saw him do it. Let's just say that. Luke's way farther back. Going to go back to another flexi shot. This is turned over too much.
Yeah, but it panned out right at the right time to
Yeah.
get at least a circle 2, which is pretty much as you can ask for from where he was at. Calvin, I think he caught some stuff on his drive.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Caught something on his upshot, too.
Yeah, circle 2, though. Fortunate not to kick in the woods.
That makes it a lot longer because of how this finishes uphill. It feels like it's like 40 feet, but it's actually like 50 or 60.
Mm-hmm. It's like an elevated basket, but not knowing it. Ugh, yeah.
You just got to pick your gap and really commit to it on this hole.
Yep.
Especially with this upshot. That's why I like this upshot, because you can really, even from where Andy's at, you could just go backhand, like skip hyzer. I mean, if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Man,
I don't know why you wouldn't just do that.
He looks unstoppable right now.
Yeah, that was, I mean.
He looks so dialed right now. Everyone
right else
now
is really
sweating.
struggling with this hole, and Andy's just the most relaxed birdie you can possibly have on this hole.
Nate here really needs to not lose any more strokes for this hole. Playing as the 6th most difficult.
Gave it enough, maybe even a little bit too much. Too much want. Luke again. So everyone besides Andy was circle 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was mentioning earlier, is that stress level. That was a much more stressful birdie for Luke.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean,
his putting feels good.
It's kind of like a boxing match,
Yeah.
You have the guy in the first round who's kind of more relaxed, letting the other guy throw his punches, and then at the end, that's where the energy really kicks in, especially for these longer rounds. I mean, these rounds go 3.5 hours for some of these, especially with a kind of a longer course that we have here at Brewer. So conserving that energy, that mental fatigue too. That's another thing about disc golf. That's the difference between the top level pros and the mid to lower pros, is that mental fatigue the mental strength that you have to have. But Luke and Andy picking one up on, or did Calvin have a birdie there?
No, Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin and Nate parred.
Yep.
Andy and Luke.
Birdied.
Yep.
That sounds
starting to.
yeah. Going to hole 7 though.
Yeah.
613 feet. This is the one of this kind of par 4 stretch where you really don't want to push too much distance. We saw Luke get into some trouble last round due to that. So you really want to be a little shorter of those bushes so you can throw a forehand or an approach shot into this green area where you can avoid that Nick Gill calls the glove on the left side.
Yeah.
Which are just a bunch of branches that catches everything. You think that you can like throw through it and then you stand under it. And
They
it's like,
don't. They will hit it every time and put you at 40 feet.
uh-oh. This needs a hyzer.
Hyzer. It might even still be fine through those branches. I mean, that's still going to like be a long forehand for him probably.
Luckily for him, he's got the forehand.
Yeah, I think he's got that in his bag. We'll have to see, though.
Luke.
No spoilers.
Missed left last time. Needs to push this farther right to hit into the gap properly. Nope.
If he gets lucky, maybe. Oh, my God.
Just
Sometimes you're just that good.
and he's
you know?
closer to the bushes this time. Like,
Yeah.
that's not what you need to do.
Sometimes you're just that good where you just...
Trees are 90% air for Luke.
That's where... you know, with the distance between atoms, you know, maybe
Yeah.
maybe he was one of those rare instances where he just went through a tree.
Calvin actually
That's
peering the
exactly
gap.
what you want to do.
That's the play.
Yeah.
Do that. Because
Well
he can choose
executed.
to go right side from there if he wanted
If
to.
he wanted to, yes,
Yeah.
he could do that.
I'm not saying that's the play, but he could. He
He could. He's got options.
Yes. Nate here.
Trying to give himself
Oh,
options. That is
no.
not an option that you want to do.
Oh,
Typically.
no.
Did
And
it kick out?
oh, it
Oh,
worked
no.
forward a lot.
At least it's not OB. I know for states
Yes.
last year they played that as out of bounds.
Yeah, they switched the line. During
Yeah.
River City, the left side's OB. During States, the right side's OB.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the left side being out of bounds
Well,
more
he's
than the right
well,
side.
he switches it because in the summertime, that's all wooded.
Mm-hmm.
So Shay's like, if you throw it in there, then you have to like get out. That's
Yeah.
your bad. But in the
Natural out of bounds.
yeah, but in the fall when all the leaves go away, it's pretty easy to scramble out. And so he says,
I
nope.
still like the scrambling of it personally.
Oh, Nate, huge shot there,
Wow.
circle's edge.
That's crazy.
That's the second time we've seen someone from that side of the
He
woods.
could even go between the. Is that what he looks like? He might be lining that up, going low.
No, I think he's going.
No,
Yeah, he's going high.
He could have done that though. There's the
there's
the glove.
The glove got it. Yep. So he's gonna have a circle 2-ish looking putt for his 3.
Here's that low shot that I was talking about.
Yeah,
which is definitely there.
It's not what I want though. It's just that. That's
Yeah.
why. It's just so easy to like pick it up, and like Luke is so good at executing on this course, and he hates this hole because he knows he
He
should
just
birdie
throws
it.
too far.
Yeah, he just and apparently through trees. Oh,
Almost spun that in.
almost got it anyway. Yeah, circle 2 here for Calvin.
Yeah, this is very common on this hole because of those dang branches on that tree.
Oh, left side.
Yeah.
High and left. Not a big catch area on this particular type of basket. Nate with a chance to somehow save his birdie. Oh, same
thing,
spot.
Left side. Looks like that wind might be pushing it too. You can see that wind's definitely ripping right now.
Marwede with a chance to get a stroke and
On
remain
the card.
perfect
And he
through
does.
7. He is on a tear. He can't be stopped. He has 2-stroke lead
Making
on
it
Luke.
look easy. I don't even think he's had a circle 2 putt yet.
He hasn't. I
Just
mean,
been
that might have
circle
been like
1.
his quote-unquote longest putt so far.
Right.
I mean, he is looking locked in.
I mean, he did have the 1 year at River City where he had, what, a 1080 some rounds?
Yeah, he had the highest rated round on disc golf day with a 1084 at River City and at the time course record of 16 with the old layout. Or
Yeah.
the last layout.
And
I
this
should say.
layout was much harder than that
Yes.
whole layout.
Yep.
Speaking of hard holes, this one is just a distance. Yeah, it's just distance. You got about, it says 420 feet. It's it probably plays about 450 being uphill, and the backhand is tricky because it's always a left or right wind, and then the hill kind of slants from right to left. So you have to, it's a very technical distance shot too. It's not just a pure distance shot. Andy's probably going to try to flex something kind of stable-ish, and then it looks like it's going to be too stable.
Well, he's trying to correct from last round. He had to earn this huge circle 2 putt. He didn't want that again, but
Well, he's going to have to do it again.
He's going to have to do it again to stay perfect through 8.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, even if he misses this, he's still on pace from yesterday.
Is Luke going forehand?
No.
Okay. It looked like he was kind of lining up beforehand for a second.
That'd be like a fun shot in a practice round for him, but not. Yeah, he's doing this really high disc that looks like it's going to be way too stable or like hyzer way too early.
Too short.
Yeah, and just
Still short, but he's like just outside the circle.
Gonna have a putt.
That looks so easy. He probably threw that like 400 feet, and he just like looks so casual about it.
If I threw it like that, it'd have gone 120
You
max.
might have got to the ditch.
I wouldn't even get to the ditch. I can tell you right now, I would not get to the ditch if I threw it like that.
That almost looks like a slower speed disc.
Yeah.
Kind of flew kind of slow. I mean, they're all short. Maybe it's I guess I don't really know what the wind is doing in
It's not crazy. You can see the top of the trees aren't moving.
yeah.
I think they're just trying to control the disc there, and it's just coming up short because they're probably thinking 420, and it looks like it's flat, and then
It's not.
coming up short on the 420.
Oh, it's definitely this left to right. Yeah, that shoved it right. But that ended up really doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
He kept the height right. That's really important on this hole. Is if you get it too high, the disc is actually hyzering backwards. And with this downhill, it just makes it a lot harder.
Oh, dang.
Dude, he sucks, man. Imagine not birding this hole. Oh my god.
Imagine birdieing 7 in a row and then missing this one.
Oh, jeez.
It's a shame because this hole
His tournament is over now.
it plays as the 5th hardest on the day. Luke
Ooh,
getting
good catch.
and that's a must get for him because he was winning by 1 to start the day. He's down by 2, now down by 1.
Yeah.
That was a must get for Luke. Get him back in the swing into being competitive here.
Well, yeah, he's 5 down through 8, and you're like, oh yeah, 5 down through 8's not too bad. And then you're like, oh, actually, I just lost
3 strokes.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Oh gosh, it's
Nate
crazy.
with the drive of the group closest to the pin and executes.
3 birdies here on a hole that plays pretty difficult in the field. As I said,
Mm-hmm.
5th hardest hole on the round. Marby's got this little tap in left to go, and that's going to move us on to our last hole of the round. Or I'm sorry, last hole of the front 9. Oh, not the round. That'd be cut way too short, but looking very good here. First mistake by Marwede. He can still get course record, though, is in play.
It is.
He just has to birdie out.
Yeah.
Starting with hole 9, 287. Marwede likes to play it over the left tree here, the little baby tree, and try to spike it over that. Landed by the basket. The problem is that this green is incredibly steep and does not have a lot of long grass to catch anything.
Yeah.
Even has some dirt patches, so if you throw it on the right side and hyzer it, it tends to skip into the worst tree on the ground of all time because there's no putt out of it.
Nope.
Or you can go on the spike hyzer and roll down the hill and have a putt up the hill, which worked for Marwede last time, but you can't always bank on those circle 2s.
Honestly, just throw a putter straight at it. That's what I do, and I have like just the perfect disc for it. It goes to that 280, and it lands right under the basket. I don't know why everyone makes it so complicated trying to throw hyzers this way and that way. Just throw it straight at it.
Not everyone can be as good as you, RJ.
Well, that's not it. But
Oh, okay.
he's like, oh man, I just ripped that way right. But he's actually probably pin high, probably 30 feet, I bet.
Yep. Just outside circle, probably. Nate here is going to go backhand 2.
It always just looks like it's going to be like the spot, and then it's like, oh shit.
And it just isn't.
It just isn't.
Oh, he
He's-
knew that.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's going to be left. It's short. That wasn't even, yeah. Even that wasn't that bad. I mean, that's like, what, 28 feet?
That's going to be better than Calvin's.
Yeah. And he hated that out of his hand, too.
Sometimes you have that. It's just an execution thing.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not what I wanted to do. That's
And you're still
bad.
fine.
Yeah, as long as you can recover
I
it.
do that quite a lot.
Ooh, this is wide.
He threw that way wide.
Probably adjusting for some wind.
He
He's
hit
so
exactly the same spot as it was the first round.
He's so close to acing this
yeah.
every time.
I
He's got
just don't like the
same putt.
spike into this.
No, that's fine, but he can make that putt.
Yeah.
He's literally the best putter in the world. That's probably why he does it, because he just doesn't care. Ooh, this needs to sit down.
That was some commitment phobe stuff there. Didn't want to get the height and run too long.
Luke probably wanting this to push Marwede, see if he can get both strokes back. Okay, didn't go anywhere.
He's not happy, but also happy that hit something.
Marwede now needs to
Uphill,
have
circle 2.
his exact same spot. Exact same
Literally,
result.
yeah.
That's
almost.
crazy. So he shoots the same thing he did yesterday, just one different hole. Instead of 4, it was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, if I was game planning for Marwede in his game, I would have said he has a more likely chance of... That was what a catch. I would say he's more likely to par 8 than 4, looking at Marwede's
Yeah.
game. I would say that this round right here makes more sense than yesterday's.
Oh, no.
very
Yeah, that
firm
was-
and high.
Yeah, that was, you could see the release was not where he usually releases it. He definitely, I don't know if it was the wind or something. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
again.
oh no.
This is spiraling. He needs to get this. He needs
Get
to
your head in the game, bro.
yeah, stop the bleeding.
Sometimes it's good just,
Take a breath.
hit yourself on the head with your disc to kind of recalibrate.
There you go.
I'm not condoning violence against yourself, but
Sometimes we need a jump start. Unfortunate break there for Calvin on the green
Yeah,
there,
just-
but par there from Luke is going to end.
that's the second time he's just kind of missed a
Yeah.
long putt, gave himself too much work.
Yeah, not on the pace he was yesterday. Taking a look at scores. Luke having an okay, not great round here. Marwede makes the front nine look way too easy. Nate, despite his catastrophic mistake, which was not necessarily his...
Only 3 back.
Yeah, he's still in this hunt. Calvin, that last hole, pushed him back way farther than he needs to
Yeah.
be. He needs to make some moves on this back nine to stay on our lead card going into the final round. But we'll see what that more difficult back nine looks for us when we get there. If you haven't already checked out our Patreon, be sure that you do. That helps us continue to do more coverage every year. And we appreciate your guys' support for Michigan and Midwest disc golf coverage. And make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, you gotta subscribe.
There it is, ASMR subscribe.
Subscribe to Crew 42.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the back nine.